Okay, awesome. So if we go to page 45 and we look at the rules for writing Devanagari, the rule number 1 is basically that you can take any of those letters from your alphabet chart. So, oops, let's take that off. Over here, sorry, I'll change my screen if I can. No, I don't know how to change my screen. Okay, I'll stop sharing that and go to share my other screen. This one, share. And so any of these alphabet letters that we have can be used exactly as they stand alone to write a word, okay? So I'm going to go back to my whiteboard. This beautiful Chloe there. And so this is where we can actually draw. So if we take on page, where's our writing page? If we go to page 49, we have our pages that you will probably writing some words in, and we have already done for us the word asana. And so that's your which is taken right off the chart, and a long A it is. Oops, forgot to turn off notifications. And then our sa, and then it's a normal na, so asana. So each one of those letters is just picked right off your chart of letters. Nothing had to be changed with them. So that is rule 1, okay? So does somebody want...
Did you finish your page 49 at least with rule 1?
I did, yeah. I got up to,
Cool.
I just was having stuck on rule 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is where I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll play with this. So,
Daphne,
okay.
Nathan, where are you with page 49?
Well, I finished 49 and I was working on 50, but I couldn't really understand how to do the words on 50. I see now I could have read back and maybe figured it out in here. So
Oh no, that's okay. That's
No, I just wanted to see where you guys were. I knew we kind of finished rule 1 and we kind of sort of had rule 1 okay. I just wanted to see where you guys were.
okay. So each of you, I'd like you just to take a turn to write on the whiteboard a word that you wrote. So tell us what it is. You can write out what the word is in our English script.
Okay.
And with the diacritical marks. So do you want to go first, Chloe?
Sure. Do you want me just to go down the list, or you want me to just pick a random one?
It's whatever one you want out of the list here, on page 49. If you would write one of those, whichever one you want.
Okay, let me do, oh, why is it not, oh, there we go, okay. Okay, A-T-A with a dot under. Ah, every time I come towards it, my name pops up. That's so funny.
Oh,
okay.
I can take that annotation off. Sorry.
Oh, like I go to bring my finger to the screen and my name pops up and I'm like, I can't see where I'm writing. Okay, so this means Matt, right? Do you want me to write Matt?
Yeah.
And then,
well, sorry, I can't, I'm gonna just try and bring this down. I can't really, let's see if I can move this, there, I can see it now. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this. It's kind of hard to write with my fat finger. Hold on.
Hurt your finger?
Yeah, I'm writing with my finger. Whoa, and then I tried to draw a little extra. I think that goes all the way down, right? And then it comes across. Wait, let me make sure I'm writing the right one.
Yeah, so you want to get the right T-A dot under.
Wow,
Yeah, there
That's a
you
little-
go.
a little shorter though. It wasn't supposed to be down as like long.
It's okay.
But you
It's
get
okay. It's perfect. Yeah. So there you go. So that's kata.
kata.
Great. Okay. So if we write a little lower on the
Oh,
page, the
okay.
next person, that's okay. It's all good. And so, who wants to go next?
I can go if I can figure out how to write. So it's the annotate one that you go to?
Well, if you can see your little pencil, you're ready to go. There you go.
Okay,
There you
that's.
go. Do you want to undo that?
Yeah, what do you do? Just go back? No.
Do.
Hang on. There you go.
Okay. I'll do. Jeez, it's hard enough for me to write the English. Sorry.
Yes, it's so much easier with a touch screen.
I don't know if you want.
You know,
Right.
next computer I get, Mugs, is going to be one like yours.
I sure like having a touch screen.
Oh, I've got a touch screen downstairs, a big desktop one, but
All right, so here we go. We've got pala, which is fruit.
right. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. Not a very good. Take me a while to get used to drawing with this, but it's nice to learn it. So
Mhm.
fala, fruit.
All right, there you go. And that's it. You were able to pick the PHA off and the LA for pala. So it's a PH pa, pala. And
Pala.
there were no other diacritical marks. So that's excellent. So Nathan, do you want to go next?
Okay.
Have we got Nathan there? There we go. Laya. Oh, look at you. Awesome. Oh, that's a good L. Good la.
Nice drawing.
It's excellent. Laya. Laya yoga. Exactly. So the yoga of absolution or dissolution. Thank you. Super. Awesome. All right, Terry, did you want to write one?
Sure, I'll do one. I'll do the next one. It's mountain.
Oh, great.
Where am I? Okay. kind of bad, but it is what it is.
Oh, we can read it. Just think of it like when you're writing in your own book, like sometimes you write super neatly and sometimes you write little
Right.
fast-paced, scribbly, you know. I mean, that's the thing. We can't be too picky about it.
I'm like Chloe, though, your fat fingers trying to write things that kind of.
Yeah.
So that is mountain. We're-
Okay, but what about your little curlies at your little curly at the bottom?
I missed it. Well, hold on. So it should be down here.
Oh, I see. I did mine.
Correct?
Correct. Excelente. Agree.
Read.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait, is that mother or is that mountain?
That's mountain, because then, so let's, do you want me to change it to mother?
Yeah.
All right. So, and this is my guess. So this is mountain. So if I change it to mother, mother is here.
Because if you see on it, Chloe, it's a long I on mother.
And then this is what changes it, Chloe, I believe anyway. I'm, again, correct, Mugs?
Yeah, that's close enough. So Chloe, if you look on
Yeah.
page 45,
Mother, but I'm like on mountain. Why? Like I don't have that extra little thing on mountain. Like I just have like on your page on your IRI with the dot.
okay. So look on page 45, and I don't, oh, you probably can't. Let me just stop sharing this. I'll stop sharing. Come on. There. And now I'm just going to share my screen. Now, there must be a faster way to switch back and forth. But if you look here at KRI.
Wait, IRI or KRI?
Okay.
Just look at KRI on that, because all we're doing on this chart on page 45 is we simply took the letter Ka and we changed it to, just like on my screen here, where we've got this alphabet here, we took Ka and we changed it to Ka, Ki, Ki, Ku, Ku, Kri, 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 K, Kai, Ko, Kau, Kam, Ka. But this could have been La. Okay, we could have taken La. And if we took La to turn it into L, R, dot under I, we put this little hook at the bottom of it.
Okay, so where I'm confused is on your sheet on the left, it says LRI with the dot underneath, and it doesn't have that extra little right there. Yeah.
That is correct. That's the short one. This is the long one. But this is, but that, and so we could have done it that way. You
That's what I did it that way.
You could have done it that way.
Okay.
And also you can do it this way, or sorry, this way. Both are correct.
Okay.
Two different ways to write it. Okay. Let's make sure we can tell the difference between La and Lari. Okay. So if we go La, I can't tell the difference between them on there. That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Okay. I see what you did. So you went from below and then you added the, okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that this is badly made on my part, because if I look on my alphabet chart here, if you look on your alphabet chart on page 44 at the top, the second row, LRI dot under, there is a little hook on that. And
hook on that one. Okay.
And I didn't put it on here, so I'm going to have to fix that.
So, okay, so I just copied that one, which I'll put a little hook on it. That's why I was confused. I was like, I didn't realize where you're getting that hook from. Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is go into Photoshop and add that on there.
Okay.
So that it makes sense, because otherwise there's no difference between the two of them.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. That's now when you know you're really deciphering the language there and getting to write it. Okay. So we have, oh, before we move to the next, I think that you've kind of got the idea of rule 1, that you can just pick it right off the board here.
Right.
And so Terry, I just wanted to ask you in the listenings to Dr. Ananda in the sutra course, when he's sitting there and reading directly the sutra and stuff, does it bring more life to this for you, or does this help with listening to him?
So I hate to say this, but yes, it just totally makes sense. So when he did the whole chart and we started chanting them, totally changed my world with understanding Sanskrit. And this is probably not the appropriate time to have a discussion with you on it, but I'm just curious.
Well, you can pause it. You can pause the video.
No. I'm
Okay.
just wondering if at some point down the road to ask if we cannot use some of the sutras written, because of the diacritical marks that are in them. It really helps. Even when we were chanting this morning, doing the chant Om Bhuva Svaha, when you've got, it makes all the world of difference when you see the diacritical marks and everything. It totally changes it up for me anyway. So I'm
Right.
talking about sutras, Patanjali's sutra commentary that you have. I love the commentary so much more so. However, in Sachidananda's commentary, I can then at least see it's already
Diacritical marks. Well, that's the beauty of having more than one commentary, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So when I'm following, I mean, there's never a book I study without more than one commentary, right? And I do love the diacritical marks, but I do love that commentary that we use in How to Know God too.
Oh my gosh,
So-
it's the most beautiful. But what's beautiful, guys, if you take the time when you're doing any of this work, try and read it in Sanskrit. I had no idea until, if you think about it, Dr. Ananda, why would you chant the sutras? What's the purpose? And that's what I kept thinking to myself. Why do I have this long list of sutras? I'll put it out there for you. I have a YouTube link, Dr. Ananda's chanting of the sutras. It
so
is
beautiful.
the most beautiful sound, but then it puts all of what Mugs has taught us here in Sanskrit in one space where we can understand it all and understand why. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mugs, but when you learn to write the Sanskrit, then to chant the sutras in Sanskrit, it brings the alphabet characters, the chakras, all the resonating in the body, subtle body and physical body together, so that, I don't know, it brings everything full circle.
Yeah, and it just really opens up so much about books that you're studying if you can understand the Sanskrit. And like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika actually has the Sanskrit in it when you study it. So, yeah, it is such an amazing language, absolutely, for sure. So, and then when you have a really amazing teacher like Dr. Ananda teaching you, you're not left in the dark wondering what the heck he's saying. It's just turning light bulbs on for you as he's saying those sutras and working with the words, because commentaries give the person who's writing the commentary the opportunity to filter the information through their current state of wisdom. But if you can actually know what the word is, like Jyoti for light, you know that that's the divine light, etc. So it just really opens things up for you. Okay, so before we move on to rule number 2, was there any other words anybody here wanted to discuss or question or whatever?
Okay, good.
Okay, let's see. I learned something. I learned how to do new share, and I don't have to get out of it. Okay, so I'm going to clear the drawings. That's super cool. And I just wanted to do a little test here. Oh yeah, I can draw with my mouse too. It's much easier with my finger, but I can draw with my mouse pad on my laptop. Okay, so if we move to then rule number 2 on your sheet, it's a pretty easy rule there. This is where the halanta comes in, which on your, at the very bottom of page 45, you see the K has that little accent. What did you call it? A kickstand, Chloe, a little kickstand there. So that's your halanta, and that takes the last vowel off the end of the word. And so there are a number of words that do that, and that's what rule number 2 is about, that you can take your consonant off the chart and then take the vowel sound off of it. So if we look, for example, then on 1, 2, I've got Thomas there. So Thomas. And what's Thomas?
Darkness.
Yeah, and inertia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of dull when we're inert, right? So, okay, so you take your ta.
What is inertia? Sorry.
Thomas,
Thomas.
like is, you know, like you've got your 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas.
Thomas is sluggish, like tired.
Sluggish. Yeah. Sluggish, fatigued.
How
You're kind
about like you're feeling right now, Nathan?
Throwing out my cool.
He's not feeling so well today. He's
Oh,
so yeah.
well, make sure you take care of yourself, Nathan. Don't get sick.
No. We don't want him sick.
No. Okay, so there's our ta, and there's no long a in there. And then we go to our ma, ta, ma. But the sa, okay, so that's our regular S there. So the sa does not have the A on the end. And so the way you take it off is your little kickstand, Thomas, right? And so this is essentially what this rule is about. It's done at the end of a word. It's not done in the middle of a word. So if the word was, let me just look at an example.
What consonant is it if you are always taking off consonants and then putting the same symbol kickstand?
Sorry, could you say that again, Nathan? I missed part of that.
It's hard to hear, Nathan.
I just said, how do you know what consonant it is if you're always taking off consonants and then adding the same kickstand?
It doesn't, no, it's the consonant is the SA, right? So if this was SA, but it could be SO, it could be SI, it could be any of the vowels. It doesn't matter. This kickstand takes every vowel off the end of it. So they all disappear with the kickstand. Okay, it just means that you're going to, if we looked at, okay, and this is an excellent question. So when you have a question like that, it clarifies a whole lot of stuff here. So I'm going to clear that. So if we looked at, on your page, you've got, this is ka, but all we want is the K. You take that off, okay? That takes the A off, and all you're left with
How would
is a
you
K.
know if it's ka, ku, ka, ki, ku, ka, whatever?
Well, it could be any of them. So if it was ko, so we look on our page and write ko, right? But you know, like,
But what he's,
well, let me do it this way. Oh, sorry, what was that,
I
Terry?
think what he's asking is, though, if we really aren't familiar, and Nathan, slap me if I'm wrong here. I think what he's asking is, like, with us not knowing all the proper pronunciations of a lot of the Sanskrit words, how would we know the actual, is it a ka, is it a cow, is it a ki, is it a ku?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, because if the word that you are trying to write is sadak, okay? And I'm not sure if I've written that correctly. Let me just see if I can look that up here to make sure I'm not giving you the wrong sadhu. Okay, it's not there, but I think that's a long sadak. So if it was sadaka, right, which is there, it doesn't matter what this letter here is. If it ends with a consonant like a K or a T or a V, you take that va off. Okay, so I'm going to clear this. So you've got to write it, so sa, and it's a long A, and then the DHA, and I'm going to presume that it's just the regular DHA because I don't have one, sadak, right? So sa, that's sadak, that's the taking the A off. But all that you saw was this part. So you know instantly there is no end to that K. So you take the end off the K. It doesn't, there, if it's not there, it's not there. You just write it that there's no additional ah sound or o sound or u sound, because all you got was sadak.
Okay.
So we'll use some more words and see if that brings that in there. Because this is used a lot. Like nobody said to us that it was tamasa. The word we saw was tamas, right? So if it was tamasa, you would be writing it as tamasa. But that's not what is on your page. What's on your page is tamas. So you put your little kickstand on, okay, your halanta. So you write what you see, and it does, and if there's no English vowel on the end of it, then you write it that there's no vowel sound on the end of it. And that is an excellent question. Okay, so
That's
so
why.
does that help, or what? What was your question, Daphne?
Oh, I said, I think that's why I was getting confused on the second sheet on page 50.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing this.
Because a lot of endings, they weren't all there in the alphabet.
Exactly, and that's why knowing this halanta is really, really helpful for writing. So if we take a sacred mantra like Om, Tat, Sat, right?
Right.
It's not Om Tata Sata, it's Om Tat Sat. So you would write your Om, Tat, Sat. Right? And this little guy here tells us that it ends with the T's. The sound ends with the T's. Om Tat Sat. So that's how you take that final vowel sound off your consonant, that ah sound. Is that making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so let's try it. Okay, so one of you share one of your words here.
Okay. You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay, so let me see, which one should I do? I'm gonna do ASAT. So you have
Yeah.
the A, oh,
Us. Yep, asat.
and then oh, it keeps disappearing. Oh, and then it reappears. Sorry. It keeps disappearing and then it reappears. So that, and then the kickstand, is that right?
Yes. Yes,
Sorry.
asat.
I had the double line there. It kept disappearing.
Yep, that's okay. We can read your writing. Everybody see that? Asat. So this is your key right there, that little kickstand.
Because
And what
that's
does
and then you take off the A, right?
Yeah. So what does asat mean?
Reality, non-reality.
Non-reality, exactly. So if we think of sat is reality, or satya comes from the root sat, which is truth, right?
Right.
Asat is non-reality, or it's not a truth. Okay, who wants to do the next one?
I've got one. I can do akasha.
Okay, great. Okay, so akasha actually is the full word there, but do it anyway because it's got 3 diacritical marks in there.
Right, and I like the fact, again, it played with the A thing.
Mhm.
Or not the A, the sha, the S.
Yeah,
You know what I meant.
I knew.
Oops. I keep thinking I have to go in each time to do my, all right. I'm gonna, Mugs, do you typically do your long line before, after, kind of to join the letters?
Oh, I usually do it after I'm done, and then just double check to make sure that it shouldn't cover some of it. Like some of them, you have to put a break in the line, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's great. That's okay that you've got your full line, though. You might need to.
I try and get a starting point so I can see what I work, frame of reference, I think, is what my problem is.
Right. Yeah, aka, and it's a long A.
And then the long A, so the long line afterwards.
Yeah.
And then,
And this is your S with your accent, sha.
right, and then Chloe's little kickstand to get rid of the
Well, it's got an A on the end, though, so
Oh,
you don't have to get rid of anything.
and there's a long A again.
Yeah.
It's not a long A on there, but the
Sha.
sha has the line after it. That's part of the whole letter.
There you
So
go.
if it was a long A on that sha, you'd have to put another line.
Another line, right?
Yeah.
And if
So
it was sh and it didn't end up in the ah, you'd have to put the halanta to remove the vowel.
Yeah, if you said akash,
Right.
it's, it's akash, then you would take that A off using the halanta.
Okay, got it.
Okay?
I think.
I think you do. So, Nathan,
Sure.
cool. Oh, I'll clear this off. Nice job.
Kickstand.
No, I don't
Okay,
think
and
we're ever going to be able to come back to calling it a halanta.
yeah,
So
and I would just
kickstand it
make
the other way.
sure your kickstand goes the other way, right? Goes down.
What do you mean?
It's got to go like that.
Uh,
Yeah. Doesn't go up or in, but it just goes down to the right like this, a little kickstand that way. Cool. Sat, which is truth. Superb. So just one thing to clarify. So I do suggest you draw your line afterwards, because if we took, for example, if I did Ida, so A-I-D,
They don't draw
H-A.
line after, do they? Is
Pardon
it
me?
after?
Yeah. So if I'm writing I, da, and so AI is written like, I can do that letter, but for my DHA, I've got to break the line here. So if I wrote my line all the way across that way, I'd have to take that out because there is a break in the line there, and that break is really important to have in there because if you look at ba, it's written like that. And ma has the line all the way over, but otherwise they look exactly the same. The only difference is right here. So it is safer, otherwise you'll be doing some erasing here to draw your line across afterward, just as a point, so you don't have to erase everything. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot of letters that are like that. Is like your they don't have the line over the first part of the and THA, ta, and JHA, ja. And so maybe what I should do is I'll just I'll go one wants me to stop share. It's not gonna, yes, new share. Let me go back here. Okay, so you see here the line does not go over the okay, and here the o or the ow, and then on your consonants the ja, there's a break, like the line would not go over top of that there. And on the DHA and the THA, there's a break. So those characters and the BHA, yeah, you just need to be aware of that there will be a break in the line in order to accommodate that aspect. Because these two are almost identical, other than the fact that the line doesn't go across there. Okay, so just wanted to point that out there. Okay, back to the whiteboard. Okay, thank you for rule number 2. Now we're going to look at rule number 3, which is on page 45. And this is when a consonant is written without the halanta, or that stroke to take the letter off of it, it's understood that another contracted vowel follows. For example, and this is where your chart comes in, how you change those vowel sounds. Ka can become K or Kai or Ko or Cow or Ki. And that's that chart for you on page 45. And so that is rule number 3, where we begin to change our vowel sounds. And so if we go to page 51, and we take Gita, right? And it's a long I. So we still start with the letter Ga. There's nowhere else to start. You start with it assuming the A sound, so Ga. But now I have to change the Ga to Gi, and it's a long I. So when I do that, I go over like this. Actually, I'm going to erase that and change the color of my pen. Oops, I gotta go back to draw though. Okay, so I would go like this, and that changes Ga, becomes Gi. Okay, and then my Ta, and it's just a regular Ta. So that's how you write Gita. And the red is what turned the A, the short A, into a long I. Okay, so this whole chart is absolutely critical for knowing how to change things around. So I just want to go back there to the new share. And it's this chart here, contracted vowel forms. This is what tells you how to change the assumed ah sound after every one of the consonants into a different vowel sound. So this is your critical chart. So we practice that so we can understand. I'll undo my Gita there. And so the first one, when we're looking at our S's, Rishi, Rishi. I'll do one more and then we can play with them. So Ri and She. So this could also be written R S dot under I, right? Rishi, because that S dot under is the actual diacritical mark. We usually see it this way, but this is also the same way you can write it. So Ri comes right off your vowels there. So that's your Ri. And then it's your S dot under. But now we have to turn that would be Risha. So how do we turn it into a short I? So I'll change my color here. And I'm going to, this time, my red line will come here. So that's Rishi. Okay. Just got it on that one a little different. Oh yeah. I did a long I on that with the two loopies. But let's see if I can erase it. Yes, I can. Oh boy. Gotta like that. So instead, it's just one of those. All right. So that's Rishi. Does it make sense before I erase it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh.
I was kind of stuck at the last part, the she part. Where did you get that from?
Okay, so I took, here, I'll write this on the board again. I took this is the S dot under, right? And sometimes S dot under is written as SHA, so it's this one. which is at the bottom of your consonants on page 44. You've got 3 S's. You've got an S with an accent. That's a sha sound. An SHA, which is equivalent to S dot under A.
Oh,
And then you just have an SA. So these ones here, S with the accent and S dot under, both have a sha sound, SHA. It's just where the tongue is, sha and sha. But the S without any diacritical mark is just like Sally or Sandra or Susan, okay? So they wrote it SHA, and I really prefer the S dot under. It makes way more sense, S dot under A. But on your chart, it's the second SHA. But so that's the one you take in this, and then that is written like that. So then to turn it into your I sound, and it's the short I, then we have to put this line on there. And that turns the sha into she.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. I love your questions. It's great. Okay, so who wants to write now?
I can go
One
with,
of these. Sorry?
you want me to go again?
Yeah, did you get to go last time, Terry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, all right. So everybody gets a chance to go, and if I move too fast, then you correct me and stop me. Okay, all right, so Chloe.
Okay, so Veda.
Great, great word.
So let me see.
Mhm.
And then, so that's the Va, and then this is Da, and then the line goes across the top, and then let me change my color to red, and then do the little, oh, did that work?
There you go, Veda.
The Veda.
Yeah, exactly. Perfecto.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's a Veda?
Wisdom.
Yay.
Yeah, it's Veda are the ancient texts where our original
Or
yogic wisdom came from. I'm only just asking to keep reminding you what they are. Okay, who's up next? Daphne?
Whoops. How can I erase that then?
If you just go, up here to the eraser and you grab it,
Oh, I see.
okay, and then you got to go back to your draw.
Well,
Oops, I'll get my mouse over here. So what's the word you're writing?
Loka.
Oh, excellent.
Oops. No, it's not working. Oh, maybe I'm still on the eraser, that's why.
Right. So you got to go back to draw and click on the little curly line. So up here, and then you click on this line. But you'll have to do
Oh,
it
I
for
see,
you.
okay. must be on something else now.
Nope. Okay, here. I'm going to clear, yeah, you erase those. So if you go up here,
It's got to be the squiggly line, Daphne. There's like a little squiggle instead of long straight lines. Otherwise, it won't work for you.
yeah, can you see this squiggle on my screen? Right here. You got to click on that guy.
Using the same one I used last time. It is a squiggly line, but well,
There you go. Now you got her. Yep. But every time you click on eraser, okay, you got her low.
okay. I'm not even.
And Loka, just so you know, is written with a K. L-O-K-A, just so that you pick the right letter.
Pardon? Oh, right. Okay.
Now you got to go back to your squiggle to be able to write.
What?
Excellent. All right. It's an art just to draw with your mouse.
Right?
Oh,
We should get added points for this one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you wanted to, you could just write it on your own piece of paper and hold it up for everyone to see. That makes it faster for you.
yeah. I'm not sure about this one.
Okay, so,
Get the low from, I
well,
see.
you've got to get it from your basic consonants, which is la, right? So you find your consonant la.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so you start by writing la. Okay, and so now on page 45 with your little chart there, you have to turn la into an O. Okay, so how do you do that? Do you want me to here, if I just share this chart here again? We'll go back. So see here, this is how you turn your
Oh, I see.
la into lo. Okay, so let me get back with my
Red.
screen, back to the whiteboard. There we go.
Okay, so what do I use for red here then?
Oh, if you want to go up on your bar there, we're right beside the eraser, there's format. If you hover over format, then you can pick the color you want to draw with.
Okay. Hmm. I'm not sure which one you use. I've lost my train of thought.
Okay, on page 45,
Right, I'm on there.
on the bottom row, it says KO,
Yeah.
and that's just the example using ka. But if you use the example of la,
Mhm.
right, then you have to add that extra line and then the little funny character at the top of the line. Yep, that's it.
Yep.
So you've got your low, and now you want to write ka. And ka is just a normal consonant off the page.
Is it purple red? Okay. that it?
Yeah, I would just add in, I'm just gonna add that little bit in there, right? So you wanna, it's like a little, it's a complete
Oh,
circle on that side. That's all though, but that's it, loka.
Okay.
That's great. So you've got your little red line here with the hook on the top, which tells you that this is no longer la, it's lo. So
Okay.
that little chart is such a critical chart to be able to decipher the changing. Okay, so who's up next, Terry or Nathan?
I'm happy to.
Okay, all right, Nathan can get himself psyched up for the next one.
So I'm doing bija, or going to attempt bija.
Okay,
And that is a seed, which is what we were talking about today. Those
yes.
sounds. Let's see how we go here. So with the long A, bija. B. Extend this. I believe that's correct.
I believe that's correct. Bija, you got her. Wonderful. Bija. Bija mantra. The seed. Seed sound.
All right.
All right. So
Make sure that
Nathan.
one can take over.
There you go, Nathan.
Is he with us?
Maybe in the
You
back.
there, Nathan?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Okay. So are we getting this? Do you understand how now to change? I mean, we didn't do that many words. But how to change the vowels.
It's a slow process.
Right. And as long as we just assume, which that rule number 4 is, or sorry, rule number 2 is that every one of the consonants ends in A unless you change it. So ka, la, ma, ra, va, ba, they all end in A. And then that chart that you have on page 45 is how to change those letters to a different vowel going with the consonant. So that's called it's written in a contracted form. So if I go to my chart here one more time, being able to switch back and forth, these are your contracted vowel forms. How to change those vowel sounds. And this is your critical chart because it works with every single one of your consonants. It's exactly the same marks throughout. Okay. So, go back to our whiteboard. Nathan, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you want to write one of these words on from page 51? So we did bija, Veda, and Gita, and Rishi, and Loka. it just helps everybody when we go through this process with our mind, just to work with it enough to figure it out. So which one are you going to do?
Where are we?
Did we lose Nathan again?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. Are you writing one?
Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm going back and forth.
Okay. Okay. And if it's easier for you just to write it on your paper and hold your paper up, although I cannot see you, but I'm sure I could change my screen.
We can do you want Bhuta, I guess?
Sure. Bhuta, element, yeah, like earth, water, fire, air, and ether. That's great.
So we want the line on the top. Um, Sorry, this one's bad. I apologize.
Well, you've got the ooh correct, yeah. Bhuta. And so the only thing I'm not clear on, but maybe it's just the scribbles, I would write boo, B-H-U, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you've written there? Just your hieroglyphics are different? Or boo?
Oh, yeah, I did an extra circle on the top. Sorry.
Okay, okay, no problem. That's great. I don't know if I could erase it or not. Let's see. No, it took too much out. But we can get it back. There. And then the ta, the only thing I would do differently on that is bring it right down, right? Bhuta.
Oh, yeah.
So,
The bottom
just-
of I'm sorry.
yeah. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Bhuta. So awesome. Bhuta, one of the elements. Okay, and I like those little U guys there. I think they're pretty cool, those little characters at the bottom of the letter. All right, I'm going to clear that. And we're going to go then, if everybody's good on this, how you're figuring out how to change these, we're going to move. Question?
Nope, I just said okay.
Okay. So then we're going to move to rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, page 44, 45. I gotta find that page 46. Page 46. Okay, page 46 now. Rule number 5 has a bunch of rules in
Yeah,
here.
that sounds confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where we take it the big step further.
right. Now this is where it starts to really change. That's why it's important to know the other rules first. So because there's a lot of words that this happens with. So what we have is what they're kind of called these conjunct consonants. And so we're going to start with R's, okay, under A. So there's two kinds of, so we've got Ra, right? That's it's like right there on your consonants, Ra. Okay, so Rama
Rama.
is just written with that ra.
Right.
But R, and anytime an R, let's see, like that would be, let's see if I can say, once we get into R's, it starts to get weird, but I'm going to write it. So as if we were writing pranayama, right? Pranayama, and I know we've got some diacritical marks in there for long A's. But what I just want to point out, like there's a lot of R's that run into P, Q, R, S. I'm just, yeah. So prana, you got to look at all your diacritical marks. Pranayama. So this is how you write the R. This is under A. So, or prana, okay? So then that's a different N as well. It's a long A and the N, prana. And is that second one long? Yeah, prana. Oh, and the last one wasn't. It's not. Yeah. Pranayama. So if I just, and then the ya. Oops, still got my eraser. Ya. And then ma. Pranayama. So this, let me take that out of there. This,
I can't see the last one because of the pictures. Can you move it over a bit? I tried, but it doesn't do it on mine.
If you minimize the pictures completely,
Oh, I see.
yeah, that should help.
there you go. Can you see it now?
I can't see the last line, but I'm sure it's just a straight one, isn't it?
Under the ma, can you see the M, the ma? This?
Yeah, it's the kind of
Okay,
like
there's
one.
no extra line because it's a
know.
short A.
I can't see the end part of that. I'm just imagining what it is.
Okay,
But I
let's
get it
see.
now.
Oops.
It's okay for this one. Yeah, that's better.
That's better? Okay.
Pieces
So,
are in the way of it.
okay, so this here, I'm just going to change my color here. This here is R. That's the R. P-R-A, okay? And so looking at rule number 5 under A, and it's the second one, I started with prana, okay? When the R immediately follows a consonant. So the consonant is P, and the R immediately follows it. So it splits up the PA, right, the pa, and the pa is that, and it gets an R in there, so you got to get that R in there, pra. So pa becomes pra, okay? And there's lots and lots of words that start with that, like prana, pranayama, prajna, prakriti, prakasha, right? There's lots of words that have PR. So that will become prasad, right? So that's a common usage, okay? So that is when the R follows the consonant immediately. So now I'm going to show you one where the R, so this one is the one above it, karma, right? Karma. So now the R precedes the consonant. So the consonant is ma and the R is before it. So it's written differently. So we've got our ka and our ma, and the R, I'll just change my color here, is right here. It's this little hook right here. So you've got that sample in your book there as well. So ours, when they blend and there's no, like if it was karama, well then you would have just written it as ka, ra, and ma, right? Karama, but it isn't karama, it's karma. And so we have to write it differently. So ours are different, and that's why they have a rule all by themselves. They're under 5A. So when the R precedes the consonant, it's written like this little guy here, right above the last stroke of that consonant, ma. And when it follows the consonant, then it's written as it was in pranayama, depending on what that letter is, okay? But if it's an RA in the middle of the word, like purusha, it's a ra, and you change it to a U, so it's still a full ra. So lots of words start to have these blending of consonants together, or conjunct consonants. So on this page, we have another common word that is Atman, A-T-M-A-N, right? Atman. So there's several rules involved in this word here. It's a long A. The T and the M are joining together, and the N doesn't have an A on the end. Atman. So this is where we get into these conjunct consonants of rule number 5, and there's so much of this here. So you start with your long A, and then now your T has to blend in to the M. So T is normally drawn, I'm just gonna put it over here in a bracket for you. That's T right there, okay? This, well, maybe I should take those brackets off, they're just confusing. There. Back to my, so this is T, and this is, or ta, and this is ma, and they're blended. So I'm gonna take my ta, and I'm gonna take this line here off, which makes the A sound, right? And now I'm gonna blend it into my ma. Atma, atma, right? So I've got the first part of the T, the ma, and now my N, which is a normal N, and I'm gonna take the A off of it.
Where are you getting that T from?
Okay, over here, let's take that off. This is how you write ta, right over here,
Huh, right.
right? But this line here,
Matt,
A, right?
we're gonna take that line off. So this line starts to represent an A in many of the cases.
Okay.
Okay, so
just-
you drop that, and now this T blends into the ma, atman, right? So these are called conjunct consonants, and if you look on page 47, I've got a whole bunch of examples of them on page 47. That's not many, but you begin to develop the pattern of how they blend together, right?
right?
Atma. And then you just add the, wait. So A, long A, then TMA,
Yeah, TMA, yeah.
and then where's the,
And then this is my N, na,
oh, you did NA, so you did na. Okay.
yeah. And then I took the A off with my halanta there.
Stay there. I'll get you something in a minute.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay, so it's like break it down into those pieces, and then it begins to make sense. But when you really get into Sanskrit, like there's so many combined things that those first rules are your foundation to learn your alphabet. But then these ones have to be blended together, okay? And so the more we work with it, the more they make sense for us.
Make sure to drink that.
Can you do Soraya? Because I did that one. I want to see if I did it right.
Do you mean Surya, the sun?
Surya. Yeah, Surya. I always say Soraya. Sorry, Surya.
Okay.
I always say that wrong.
All right, well, we'll just start to get you saying Surya Namaskar instead of
Soraya. I know.
sun salutation, and then you'll start. Okay, so S. Whoops, I got to get back to my draw. I love this whiteboard. Surya. Okay, so do you want to write it? Do you?
Well, because that's where the R goes on the top, right? That's where
That's,
and at the end, right? Is that right?
that's correct. It goes above the Y, the Ya.
Did you want me to write what I have?
Sure. So you write your Su, and then
Okay.
your Ya, and then put your R on there.
My sure is.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can laugh. You can laugh at my handwriting.
No, I'm just laughing at this. Is not the easiest thing we've ever done. Sorry.
No.
Is that right?
Okay, so Surya. So let's look at your, it's your regular Sa. So I'm going to write over here just so that I can make it a little more clear,
I
right?
was hoping to see too, because this is not one that I had any.
Oh, wait, I'm going to make it higher because I want to make sure you can see it, okay? So I start with my foundation of Sa. Okay. And then I have to turn it into a long U. So you have to make sure that your U goes in the right direction, or you're curly on the bottom. Because if you look at the short U, which is what I think you've written there, the short U U goes under like this, but the long U goes
Yes.
like that, okay?
I did the wrong U. Yeah.
That's okay. And then now you'll also, your Ya.
What's the thing I did? Hang on, wait.
Sorry, pardon me.
Okay, so that first part of mine is wrong too. Let me see. What did I do here? So I did.
It looked like, that looks closer to a Ma to me than a Sa.
So I was trying to do Sa and then turn it into U, but why did I have that extra thing right there?
So
Yeah,
it's
Okay.
the last S there, okay? And then the Ya is kind of has a little swoop in it, right?
I got that part, but I think I goofed where you had the R.
Oh, did you do it like S, if it was an S?
I did like,
R.
I put it in the middle. So yeah, no, now I see what I did wrong.
Yeah, so I am constantly referring to rule number 5A with those examples of karma and prana, because they really identify where to put your R stroke.
Yeah, that's what's confusing. Like I was like,
Yeah,
I'll do the same thing, and that's what I did wrong.
yeah, and that's okay. But then what I think you would have been writing was SRU, S-R-U, if you
Right.
put your, right?
Surya.
Yeah, right? So this is Surya.
Surya.
Okay. So let's do some more just to get clear on these ones, because they're,
Tricky.
yes.
Check my nirvana.
Nirvana. Okay, so nirvana.
I'm not sure. Do you want me to do it, or are you doing it?
No, you go ahead. But let's write it down here. I'm going to write it down. Nirvana. Now, so we get all our diacritical marks on there. So it's a long A there and a dot under. That's a terrible dot.
Okay.
Nirvana.
All right.
So your R precedes the consonant Va.
Let's see. I think.
Yeah, you're just missing one thing on your near, on your NI to connect the line in front to the N.
Let me look and see where I'm at.
So look on page 45
Okay.
where it's KI, key.
Uh-huh.
So how do you connect that line to your N? Right?
Near.
It's
Got
this right there.
up top. Yep. Okay, got it. I see what you're saying.
Okay. And that's important because we got all these lines floating around out there, right? We need to know what they belong to.
Okay.
So the R on that one comes after, like way at the end?
Well, what this is a long VA, right? So that becomes, so Va, that's a short Va, and now it's a long Va, so VA, long.
Right,
But that's the end of the letter, so that's where you put your R.
but oh, because it comes in front. So you do the NI by itself and then the RVA is together then. So it's
right.
not, okay, I get it now.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, when the R precedes the consonant. So first you have to identify what is your consonant. And the consonant is Va because the R is right before Va. It precedes it. So
Okay.
then you add your little R curly on that consonant Va.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Excellent, Terry. That's superb. So we should do one now again where the consonant follows, or where the R follows a consonant. So we've done, let's see, which would be a good one. There's so many exceptions in these things.
Prakriti?
Yeah. Okay, let's do your Prakriti. I was trying to find a different letter besides Pa, but that's absolutely perfect. So do Prakriti. So I'll write it up because I can write it with my finger, and then we'll get all our diacritical marks on there. So it's a KRI, and it's a short Prakriti. Okay.
ERAKRITI. T-A. There I go. T-A. T-A-I. Did you want me to try and do it?
Yep.
Okay. So let me do it in green. Okay, let's see if I got this, if I slotted this or not.
No, this is what we're doing here, so it's all good.
Okay, and then change to red because then you add that little extra kick right here, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to green. And then I have the PRA and then Kriti. So K, I, and then the little thing here.
Yeah.
And then back to green for the T A, but then
Becomes a short I.
right, but then I add in this
Mm-hmm.
and then back to green to do the line all the way across the top.
There you go. So the only thing I would just have on your Cree is it's not a long I. So you've written that one as the long I with the two
I did.
hookies.
You're
So
right.
Yeah, so you just need the one hooky
The
area
one.
there.
The two. Yep. Okay, I see that.
So let's see if we can erase one.
So yeah.
All. I think you did it in red, right? Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Excellent. Prakriti.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Excellent. See, so that's great. So that one was using your R's.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do one more with the R's here intentionally. I mean, there'll be R's otherwise, and then we'll do some more conjunct consonants. But what about Vajra? I wanted to get the R with another letter besides pra. So Vajra, a diamond, Vajra asana, right? So the R is following a consonant, right? The consonant ja.
Sure.
Anybody want to try that one? Daphne or Nathan?
Very good at it.
You want to try it, Nathan? Nope. Okay. Terry?
Be happy to. Yeah, I'll do my best.
That's all we're doing, right?
I
That's all
know.
it,
There are struggles sometimes. They really are. And I just get to a place where it's like, okay, wait a minute. All right, let's try this. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, if I could commit nothing but time to doing just this, would be really cool.
oh, if you've got time and you want to doodle, why not just try and do some Sanskrit,
Yeah,
right?
well, again, I just don't, yeah. If you give me another week in my life, okay, va, and to me now, and you'll have to just bear with me here and see if this works. So there's the va, oops, don't stop.
So now you're just going to find your ja, right?
I'm doing the ja, so va, ja, and then here's the line over. And
Okay.
then R, I got to go back to my rule on 45, 5A.
46, I think it is, yeah.
Or 46, yeah. So it's not the one that goes, yeah, so it would go here, right? Did I put it in the wrong place?
Yeah, it's the wrong place because it's not varja, right? The R is not preceding the ja.
It goes,
It's following the ja.
So it's the kickstand one?
It's
Kind
a
of.
kickstand to the left.
Okay. That's what I had. Okay.
hold on.
Yeah, well,
It's so confusing.
Left, so it goes here.
But not on the bottom.
On
Okay?
the up a little bit, right?
Hold on.
Just like, see, we did a pra, right?
Let's see what I'm missing here.
Okay, so we did, this was pa, and that became pra.
Oh, got it. So this then has to go, I just gotta get rid of my eraser. It's got to go here. Oops, mouse.
Yes, yes. Yay!
Looking at a wrong rule and it wasn't making sense at all.
Yeah, but if we don't practice it,
Right,
we won't know it, right?
right.
So I want to point just something out here. Okay, so I can clear that out. We've done some R stuff, and you've got your two key examples there, karma and prana, which that's basically the two examples for adapting all those R's for you, right?
Right.
Okay, and so when we talk about those other conjunct consonants where they're blended together, I just wanted to point something out here. So let me find a word. 5. So if I look at bhakti, okay, let's take the word bhakti, B-H-A-K-T-I. And I'm now on what page am I on?
53.
It's yeah, 53. Okay, so if I look at bhakti, there's no wrong guys in there. So what I want to point out here is you can't write it as, so is this the B-H-A? Make sure I got my right letter. Yeah, B-H, ba. And then the K, I can't write it like this, right? You can't use that in the middle of a word, that halanta. I just want to show you what I'm doing here. So my TI is over here. Okay, so this is not allowed, right? It's allowed at the end of a word. It's not allowed at the beginning of the word. The reason I want to point this out is today, when we're working with Dr. Ananda on the sutras,
Right.
and the sutras that he's working with are one long sentence with one long line. So there's two ways you can write your Sanskrit. You can write it as a word, like then I could go bhakti yoga, right? So I could write whoopsie, back to my draw here and make sure I've got my yoga. There's only one yo, so yoga. I think that's my ga, is that right? Yeah, and then I've got to turn it to an O. So these are two separate words here. Yoga, okay? But in the sutras, they're all written together and this would be blended in, right? So you could use your halanta here if this was bhakt. You could use it because it is still at the end of a word. But I just wanted to point that out, Terry, because you're looking at the Sanskrit when you're reading the sutras.
Right.
And depending how Satchidananda wrote it, in Ananda's book, it's all, the whole sentence is connected by the line.
Instead
Okay.
instead of just the words.
Instead of breaks for the words, exactly. I don't know how Satchidananda's is. Okay, so if I get back to bhakti, right? I've got now, I put this, now they're blended. So I've got to take this out. I'm going to take all this guy out in here. Well, I can leave yoga there. Okay, so now this K and that T are a letter all of themselves, okay? KTI. So now, get rid of that. Okay, get my pen back here. Okay, so this all blends together now. Oh, I'm gonna have to erase a little bit more here, there, because they've got to run in. So this now runs into my TA. And then this becomes my I. Okay. So the K, T run together. And now it's KTI. So this, or you can, like that's one way, or you can do it with the connection here. Oops, I gotta get back to my other guy here. Bhakti. But this, it's the KTI now. And this is your KI key. KTI become joined for your turning the A into an I.
Okay.
So you got two things happening here. I'm going to change my color. You've got your K blending with your T, bhakta, bhakta. And now you're turning it into T. So it can, so these are joined with the I there. Yeah. So it's a lot going on, and that's why those charts of conjunct consonants are really helpful. And you can find quite a few of them online or in books.
Okay.
On your page 47, they've got KTA, kta. So it becomes a letter of itself, right? Because if you look at it, how can I make this more sensible for you? Let me erase this out of the way. We've joined K and T. So because K and T are joined, that's terrible. You can't put your I after the ta, right? It can't be like this. Because these two letters are joined. So you have to put that join afterward, after the combined.
Your K, so you got the K from the ka, right? And you just cut off that little bit. Is that what you did?
That's what I'm doing. Because you see, ka isn't written with an extra line. You can't take that foundation line. So you just sort of blend it. You don't do the whole loop there.
You take that off and that removes the A and makes it a ka, right?
That's right. So now it goes like that. Kta, bhakta, right? And then we got to turn it into an I. So wherever you're going to put that I.
Okay.
Because this, anybody who would know Sanskrit would know this is a letter there, KTA. And now it's turned to a KTI.
Where did you change it to the KTI?
By adding that extra little.
This line, where's, I wish I could highlight, but
I
I'll just
see
change the
what you're
color. This one right
On the
here.
top of the line. Yep, got it.
Yeah, that turned it into the I.
Got it.
Okay.
I'm looking at it on page 45 now. So, all right, makes sense.
Yep. And so remember your book, Sacred Sanskrit Words.
Yep.
And they've got all the diacritical and a lot of these words in there. So that really helps a lot. And I could have taken that from here. I could have taken it from here and taken that out up to my draw. I could have done that there because it's still with the same letter, right? Bhakti. It's still with the KTA or KTI now. But you can't do it in the middle. That's the main thing. You can't do that here. That's not okay.
All right.
Okay. So let's do another one here, and then we'll give it a wrap.
Can I ask you a question about one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Samskrita, is that how you say it? Samskrita? For
Yeah.
Sanskrit?
Where are you?
On page 52.
Okay.
It's already written up for you, but I'm confused as to what the R is mixed with in that one. Is that the same then as, no, so I'm kind of circling on each word where the R goes with the letters. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. And what page are you on? 52?
Yeah, 52. So where's
Oh, there we are. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay.
So
Sanskrit or Sanskrit. Yeah.
what part of the letter does the R go with on that one? It's like the R with the dot underneath. Like, I'm kind of confused.
It's the RI, right? So if you look on page 45 with your chart there, second row, second one in, I really should have a dot under that R on my next go round. KRI, right?
Oh, yes, KRI. That should have a dot under.
Yeah, it should have a dot under. Both of those KRI should have a dot under.
Okay, so it's already a KRI that's written up then.
Yeah,
So,
it's already a KRI.
so then you have the SA, right?
Yeah, so let's do it. I'll write it out on here.
Okay.
And so M dot under is often used like for that Sanskrit sun. It's a real nasally
Right,
one,
and
right?
the line, is that the line with the dot above? Right. And then where do you just get that S by itself then? That's what I was confused with, I guess. Because then that S is then by itself, right?
Yeah, so this is your regular sa, right? So
Yes.
we just write that sa and put a dot over, and now that turns it into some.
Right.
Okay?
And then
nice and handy there. And now it's the same kind of S. So we take the first half of it, this part, drop the line, which gives it the A, run it into your ka, right?
oh wait, so your ka, but you're going to kri, I thought.
Yeah, so we're going to turn it into that ka into a kri by looking on our chart. So we put this under here, right? And then your ta.
Okay, so that's kri right there, and then the S is just the S without the A. Okay, I see
That's
it.
right.
Okay,
Got it?
yes,
Good.
thank you. That I was looking at that one for the longest time trying to figure it out. Thank you.
So have you got that, Daphne and Terry? Can you figure what we're doing there?
That makes sense.
Sort of.
Again, it's all practice. It's constant.
Right. The
And
more times you come back.
this is
Yeah.
what's hard for me is I'm learning to read it and I'm learning how to pronounce it the way it should be, but it's just a struggle trying to write it when you start a blank script. It's just
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it just takes some time to, if you don't practice it, and it's so great if you have the answer sheets with you. I'm just gonna stop share
I
there.
wish there was this one really handy cheat sheet, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I wish there was it really makes it hard to flipping back and forth between pages. You lose track of where you are. Wish that there was if I took this and really wanted to take another master class or something in it, I'd love to have some chart with all the rules, the alphabet, everything on, so you've got one glance.
Right. So if we had the charts like you have, like that I've been
Right.
sharing the screen. And then we made, you know, maybe a couple more charts.
Maybe.
Like one with the R's, right? Like karma and prana, some variations of
Right.
common words, putting those R's in there.
That would be easy to use then that way. A little easier anyway.
Yeah, quick to look at. And then as I have on the page, what page? The conjunct consonants on page 47.
Yeah.
If you Google Sanskrit conjunct consonants, there's a whole bunch of graphics of different ones. Like there's an abundance there of the different images. This is an extremely limited example here, but you could practically get your whole alphabet from those images there.
Okay.
But it would be a lot of work to make a chart because these are endless, right? Like
Oh, I'm
there's
sure.
so many variations. But if you begin to understand that when K runs into T, you know, that little second curl just runs into the ta, or when va runs into another letter, you take that, well, va wouldn't work that way. What would be one like sa? You take that second line off and you take the first half of the letter.
Right.
Or tat, like if you were writing tat, you'd have your ta start and run into the next one. I bet we even have one of those on here. Well, we probably don't, but you drop that second part. I'm going to share the screen one more time as we wrap up here. Yeah, so tat, let's clear that, would be like this, right?
Right.
So we dropped this line.
You drop the
Right.
ta-ta.
Yeah, it would have been ta-ta,
Right.
but now it's tat because we dropped that line.
Right.
Okay, so once you start playing with it, there will be patterns because there's only so many joinings, right? Yeah, there's only so many that join together. NYA is common. There's just so many ways to do it.
It's just mind-boggling. You just have to stay at it.
Yeah, yeah. And if you practice it, then it starts to make more and more sense. And you know what, like, this is just, if anybody really wanted to get into their Sanskrit, then they could run with it. Like I've got several Sanskrit books and that I bought, and so they take you through more of the work with the rules and stuff, but I haven't had enough time to get beyond this level that I've shared with you here. I just don't have enough time to go any deeper into it.
Well, not everybody's going to use it like that.
Mm-hmm. But boy, if you play with it a little bit, you really begin then to understand so much when you're studying with someone like Dr. Ananda and you want to go up to that. You really want to know what he's talking about, right?
Right. So can you recommend a book on Sanskrit? Do you know?
Yeah, I got a couple here I like. Let's see. Okay. And there's also online courses, which I can also recommend to you one. I think it's incredibly reasonably priced. So this is one, Basic Sanskrit here. And it's by Judith Tyberg. It's probably still in print.
How do I get rid of the screen so I can see you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to get out of it.
Whiteboard up and I can't see what you're doing.
I know,
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Like,
So this one,
Oh.
Lessons in Sanskrit by Judith Tyberg. Okay.
again, guys, this is just a reminder to keep harping at Mugs. She needs to put together a list of reading materials.
I've got the list up there in Google Docs already. I just have to keep adding to it, but it's already there.
Oh, cool.
I
Thank you.
did it right. I did it right after Florida.
Yeah, because she kept coming
Okay.
up with all these brilliant books, and it's like, oh, we need a reading list.
Yeah, so it's up there. And then there's this one here. It's a thicker book. It's called A Sanskrit Primer by Deshpande. And so it takes you through a lot of lessons. And then there's this one, Teach Yourself Sanskrit. Teach Yourself
Oh,
Sanskrit.
that would be a good one to try. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's and it's a complete course for beginners
Oh,
by Michael Corson.
Huh.
And again, so it just takes you through all your alphabets and stages. But I did find a really good one online, a really excellent one online. And
Sent out to several of us a while back.
yes, I think I can send it again. I did send it to you, right? I sent it out to a few
You
people
did.
who were
You
really
sent it
interested
out,
in
yep.
Sanskrit. So you can share that one, and that'll be one of my next goals, to work through more of the Sanskrit, because I really love it a lot.
Take the time. So
Okay, I
awesome.
don't.
thank you, Mugs.
Okay, so play, have fun. If you're doodling, doodle in Sanskrit. It's good vibrations.
Like that.
Oh.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. I will sign off. Have a beautiful
Chat
day.
with you later. Love you.
Okay, love you too. Bye.
Bye.